Excellent, excellent. So it should be a good one between these two teams. It is a round 3 game in the Winter War 2015. So we're starting to get into the draft here a little bit. It was a Terrorblade Skywrath ban, as well as the Faceless Void Silencer. First pick overall was Jakiro, followed up by the Tidehunter. Your thoughts?
Right now, I'd rather Dire Side. It seems like Radiant wants to go more for pushing style with Jakiro. Liquid Fire is really great.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they prioritize the Jakiro so much. I mean, you go back 3 months, 4 months, Jakiro was first pick, first ban material, but he has fallen off sharply then. And Crystal Maiden Rubik, the next two pickups. Not too, the Crystal Maiden's a little different. Rubik, I think, is a pretty normal pick up against a Tide, especially.
Yes, indeed. I'm just surprised that they show right away their true support. I mean, and quite disappointed that no one has picked up the Venge in the first phase.
Yeah, a lot of these South American teams, they're not the biggest fans of Vengeful Spirit. They pick it up, but it's usually in the second phase, and often only if they're going for a minus armor strat. It's just, I guess it just hasn't caught on there. It's not the way they in the metas they use, but either way, it usually seems to work out. One team usually ends up winning. Uh, Doom and Viper were the next two
The Doom
bans.
ban.
Sorry, go ahead, take it away.
I was gonna say Doom ban. It's
Yeah,
another silence app. You have the Sky Silence, the Silencer gun.
yeah,
I'm thinking they want to go something that use a lot of time. So I don't know yet, but they're gonna show us something soon.
yeah. As far as that pick, Space Gamers, they might be looking. They might be a heavy team fight lineup. I mean, they've already got the Tidehunter and the Crystal Maiden ultis. You throw an Enigma on there, and if even if you say you ravage, you get a 3-man ravage into the black hole with Crystal Maiden doing her dance. That's, I mean, why not? And a lot of the things that can cancel that are banned out between the silences and the globals and stuff. So it's an option they've got if they want to go that route. But they might also just go for some heavy mana intensive heroes that like to spam during the lane. Like it'd be a little weird, but I think Bristleback would work pretty well for space gamers. You run that along with the Crystal Maiden, so you've got the lockdown, the slow, the mana regen, so he can spam his quills, even if he's in the safe lane. And their Eternal Gaming are thinking the same thing.
Yeah, indeed. Or you can even go with a Deuce and have some global presence in all the lanes,
Hmm.
and really just destroy the two weak, well, not weak heroes, but just low HP heroes as Jakiro and Rubik early on.
Yeah, the soft supports they don't fare too well up against anyone that can spam. Slark's going to be the final band coming out of this second phase, so we'll see what they want to go for. Neither team, Jakiro could be a core. I mean, it's not very common, but when you first pick it, it's more likely. I want to say. So we'll have to kind of see how that goes.
Yes, but I don't think this is the level of gameplay that they're gonna put off lane. This is gonna be a more like support and get T1 on the safe lane gun.
Hmm. And now some a lot more current heroes. We see the Brewmaster coming out for Space Gamers International, as well as the Juggernaut for Eternal Gaming. Juggernaut right now is, beside Venge, the talk of the patch, meta, however you want to phrase it. But I mean, he's been first picked and first banned in so many games recently. Third. Surprised to see him come out so late.
I mean, he got a really nice win ratio, and most teams just can't handle it.
Hmm.
Because I don't know why, but some teams just can't target the healing ward, and the healing ward does so much in the team fight that it's really worth it to pick it up.
Hmm. And speaking of that
Plus,
healing ward, go ahead. Go ahead. You had a
go
point.
for it. No, no, no. I was gonna say that that's why they ban like so many silence. You can't really interrupt Juggernaut.
Hmm.
He's gonna ulti, and you have nothing to do against that.
Yeah. And what you were saying before about the silences, for sure, Crystal Maiden's ulti is definitely a channeled one. You mentioned that they were probably going to go for something along those lines. I thought of Enigma. They ended up grabbing a CM, so I guess similar in a sense, but a lot less farm required. But jumping back to the healing ward of Juggernaut, is they've only got Crystal Maiden for range so far. So if Juggernaut's good at keeping that deep in the fight, and I mean, sure she can take it down, but she is not does not move very fast. So she's gonna have to go in pretty deep to get it probably. And then Brewmaster, Tide, and Ogre, they gotta run right up to it. So if he's good at whoever's playing the jug, if he's good at it,
Yeah.
easy.
But Brewmaster, once he ulti, he should be fine hitting Juggernaut Healing Ward.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm getting told you're a little bit quiet, so just give me a moment to turn you up. If you see anything you want to mention, feel free.
Alright, Eternal Gaming just pick up Shadow Fiend. This is gonna be AoE damage. He's gonna be great, and he should win his lane against the Brewmaster mid.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is if Shadow Fiend gets shut down in the first, I want to say 2 minutes, he struggles hard. But even if he comes out even, I think it should be fine. But well, I kind of have to see.
One thing I do like about Shadow Fiend on the Radiant side is that he can stack himself. He's nearby the jungle, and it's something that they can utilize and getting more farm on him.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't see a whole lot of is Shadow Fiends going and stacking for themselves. Usually it's dedicated one of the supports to it and stacking and whatnot. Which I mean isn't the worst idea ever, but in a tri lane, I'm assuming it's going to be a defensive tri lane, which actually is probably a pretty scary one, even for the Tide Hunter. It's a lot of magic damage coming out, so he'll have to be careful. But the Shadow Fiend grab that extra little bit of farm. Huskar and Medusa, the final bans coming out for each team.
I'm not surprised about Medusa ban though.
No, she's such a strong hero right now. The Weaver Undying though, quickly they are picked up, and it's almost like the teams knew what they wanted before they saw what was banned. They didn't even care. I guess that's going to be an offlane Undying, maybe a support.
Or you might see an aggro tri lane.
Yeah, aggro tri. What would you say? Leave the Jakiro solo and Rubik Undying Juggernaut. I think
that could be an excellent against them. I mean, Crystal Maiden has pretty much like no escape mechanism. She'll be just free food for the space. For the Eternal Gaming,
Yeah, and speaking of Eternal Gaming, I will go and quickly run through their lineup. We've got Jakaru, sorry, I stumbled on that one. He's playing the Jakiro. Chow is playing the Undying. Havoc is going to be on that Shadow Fiend. Kaiser is playing the Juggernaut, and Insane is going to be on the Rubik. Want to go ahead and take the Dire?
Yeah. For Space Gaming, it's going to be Hans on Crystal Maiden, Now Gaming on Weaver. On Tide, we got Jack. Brewmaster, we have Odini.
Yeah.
I think that's it, yeah. And on Org Magi, I would call him, I don't know, Jack. Can you say his name?
I would say Satisfaction. Oh no, that's the tag, I guess. Weird. Rydek is sound fine. Yeah. Rydek, I would just go with that. It's not the biggest deal. Right. That said, I think I forgot to adjust my camera settings. I did. So I'll fix that real quick. I didn't set him back from after I was playing. I was too busy doing other things. So got that all fixed up. Now we're good to go. And so hopefully the pause will end soon. But it shouldn't be too long. As far as lanes go, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a Weaver. I'm just curious if they want to run the Tide solo safe lane and try and go aggressive with the Ogre Magi Crystal Maiden. I know that sounds weird, but I've seen people run aggressive strats with Crystal Maiden before, and it works out very well. Frostbite's a really good spell. The extra damage from Crystal Nova and the slow and stuff like that. I think it's got potential if they want to go that way. It'd be pretty risky, but I've seen it before.
I mean, it would be great if the other team also go aggro, so they can just
dodge,
counter it. Yeah, dodging.
Yeah, because a solo Jakiro up against that would be free food. He would get Frostbite into the Fire Blast and the Gucci and all that, and it would just be all downhill from there.
Indeed. There's not much to talk about early game. I mean,
yeah,
the game's not really started.
There's only so much you can do. Looks like we still need a second.
Does it sound good now, or is it in-game or on Twitch?
You were sounding too quiet to the people viewing on Twitch, so I cranked you up on my end, and you're fine now. So you don't have to worry about that. But everybody's telling me you're good now. So we should be good to go. Unfortunately, some DCs coming out. These guys seem to be having some problems, and A little bit unfortunate here, but that's a so popular hero nonetheless. Brewmaster, I'm sure we all knew that, but interesting to see the stats nonetheless. 81% though. Holy crap! How's his win rate? Is it does it warrant that kind of a pick ban? So that was a quick little shout out to Looking East. Follow him on Twitter at Looking East. Looking East Dota is what it is, at Looking East Dota. And he's doing stats for us today, so first one of the game. I mean, at this point, it's time to talk about effigies. We've got the classic axe dunking going on down here on the Radiant. He's going to be doing that one, it looks like. Any
the Juggernaut one on the other side.
Is there? Try to kill him.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's not bad. I've seen that axe one probably 4 times, 5 times now. Pretty common.
Yeah.
Not a lot you can do. Oh, come on, camera. There we go. A little wonky for a moment there, but it's all good. Is this a Meepo one doing the poof animation? Yeah, it is. That's not bad. I mean, 58% has.
I'd rather the Juggernaut one.
You over the Meepo? Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is the hardest part about casting a game. Oh, Undying's back. Hopefully, Havoc will be there soon. Crystal Maiden's pimped out though. If you look at her, she's got the glacial crown. 36 freezing field kills too.
Pretty nice.
I mean, you know, the only downside is I can almost guarantee you the Dire are gonna lose. Tidehunter does not have Squiddles. GG, game was good. Squiddles completely necessary.
The career on the Dire is looking pretty nice also.
They've got the TI yellow bird one. That's fun. Yeah. For those of you that are tuning in, unfortunately there's some technical difficulties on the Radiant, and this is what casting devolves to when there's no game actually going on. They're using the Vici Fox on the Radiant. That's a neat crow. Not one I see too often.
Indeed.
Yeah. At least...
Like, we can't even talk about their items.
No! Shadowfiend's got 2 tangos. I think he's going for a bottle.
Oh, Crystal Maiden picked up a smoke. Might see a smoke soon. It
Yeah.
might be exciting.
Yeah. At a certain point, there's only so much you can do, and it's rather unfortunate. I'm
just hoping they got in a smoke and just come here for the first blood and catch one off. That'll be great.
Yeah, the Dire have been very patient for this space. Nice guys over there, apparently. Okay. Looks like he's getting packet loss. But nonetheless, it should be alright. Hopefully things work out for him. It's always unfortunate whenever you have these kind of technical issues, and I know that oh no, the D word, never again. It's always unfortunate whenever you have these kind of issues, especially at the beginning of a game. In the middle of the game, it's a little bit easier because you can kind of sit back and talk about how things are going, but hopefully everything sorts out and we have a clean run. I don't think I've had a clean start to a best of 3 series in, I don't know, 2 months.
We could have talked like how the team were doing before, but we don't even know them.
Yeah. I don't know, they've both won at least 1 round to get here, maybe 2, depending on if they got a bye or not for the first round.
Yeah, so at least they had some background win, so
Yeah.
might be a good matchup.
Yeah, so we're in case you're not following, Winter War is starting to get a little bit later into the rounds. We're at round 3, and the first couple rounds are the biggest. There's going to be teams that are going to start being eliminated soon. And
Okay.
from the lower bracket, so if one of these teams does drop, they do have a chance to come back. There is a lower bracket, but fortunately, they'll be down a game.
That's
Okay.
better than nothing, really.
Yeah. Ah, that's too bad. This one will be up there, but either way. And it looks like both teams are gonna get underway finally, so we'll see how they lane this. We mentioned both teams have the option to go aggressive if they want to, or defensive. We'll kind of have to wait and see. We're gonna.
The Tide seems to go in top.
Yeah, looks like able to call that one, and it might be an aggressive. They could still go aggressive with Undying, Jakiro, and Rubik. Leave the Juggernaut solo. We'll have to kind of see. So far, it looks like they're dual laning mid. But we'll see if they're pinging out the bottom rune. So I imagine they're gonna smoke here pretty quick. Maybe run an aggressive ward into the jungle, try and pick someone off. Brewmaster's rotated in. No one's leveled up any spells yet. Oh, except for Ogre, he got Fire Blast, but that's fine.
Tide finally found Undying top.
Yeah, Undying.
Happening.
They both have a ward, and Undying's trying to juke him out, making him think that he placed the ward, but Tide's just gonna be like, well, you didn't. Still in your inventory, buddy. So either way, it looks like the Dire aren't gonna find anybody. Ogre's gonna go and throw to smoke. Top lane, Tide's gonna find the Shadow Fiend though. Looks like he hit a handful of right clicks and grab that bounty rune when it spawns. Juggernaut doing the smart thing, didn't wander through his woods. So either way, game no.
Oh, it's gonna be a defensive tri lane.
Yeah, it is. Looks like they're rotating back. They're just securing the rune for their. Did they give that to Undying? Oh, they didn't. Shadow Fiend? Okay, they gave it to their SF. I think the mid laner, out of all of the heroes, probably benefits the most from these new level 1 bounty runes. Getting that extra advantage in the 1v1.
Yeah. That and the support.
Especially a jungle support. Somebody who's going to be stacking and pulling really needs that extra little bit. Looks like they might go on Crystal Maiden here. A little bit of miscommunication. Juggernaut steps forward. He's going to get stunned out. Rubik is going to go for the lift. Ice Path's going to follow up, but Juggernaut's not there. Hey, he's going to show up eventually. He might be able to get this. Depends how deep he's willing to dive. Is that going to be your first blood? Yes, it is. Blocked in by the creeps a little bit. Going to get stunned up. Weaver's there. He's got another Sakuchi cooling down. Are they going to look to go? Defensive Ice Path coming out, and I think they're going to be all right with that. They're able to pick off the Crystal Maiden, and that squishy support in the aggressive tri lane not working out for him right off the bat. Oh, a little bit unfortunate there, but kind of to be expected. But now Jakiro, far out of position, is going to get hit by the Frost Blast. And this is going to be your second kill of the game. Now Ogre is going to get lifted up and tossed away. Weaver's still there with another Sakuchi. 6 seconds on that. Going to throw out some auto attacks. Rubik dropping very low. The Geminate attack, not quite there. Does cancel the salve, though. That Ignite's going to be the death of Rubik, though. He's going to tick down, and there he goes. Double kill coming out for the Ogre. Rydek going to be happy with that one. And so,
other than that, top lane is nothing really special happening. Shadow Fiend is actually leading the last hit leaderboard, so that's good for him. And Brewmaster is having a hard time really mid. He's getting zoned out.
Yeah, he's having a bad day. His one defensive ability, I guess his defensive mechanic, the mischance, doesn't affect the Shadow Fiend's raises. So, oh, that said, Ogre smoked up and looping around. Brewmaster's too hurt to go on this though. Actually, not a smoke, sorry, an invis rune. And, oh, Brew thought he had help. Ogre just walked by. Havoc picks up a freebie. And he's now got max souls, and he's going to be pretty happy with that. Imagine there might be some aggressive pinging. Bottom lane, though, they're looking to go in the Weaver. He's trapped in. He is healed up a little bit, managed to pop his 6 charges, and he's going to be able to Sakuchi his way out of there.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, they're looking top. They're going to engage on Undying real soon.
Ogre's going for some body blocks. The right click comes out, the stuns. Tide's got to get in range. Gush, one more anchor smash. Actually, a club from the Ogre finishes him off. So,
real nice body block by Orgamachi.
Yeah, keeping him in range there and getting one last click to finish him off. And so far, we're off to a very bloody game, which is kind of nice. After the worst, there's nothing worse than having all these pauses and delays at the beginning of a match, and then it's like a Naga Siren versus a Terrorblade Farm Fest. Just like, But so far, it's looking pretty good. As far as who's benefiting the most from this aggressive tri lane, I would say it's definitely the Dire. They're up in kills, even though one of them has come in their off lane. But the Weaver is out farming the Juggernaut fairly handedly, even though it's still only 10-4. But I mean, doubling him up. Not to mention the Tide Hunter, even though they rotated the Ogre, he's now level 5 at 3 minutes 45 seconds, and going to be well on the way to the Blink Dagger. These guys mana boots.
I don't think they would have really to be afraid right now is Shadow Fiend. Oh, he's about to kill Brew.
He's juking out a lot of these stuns. Brewmaster just runs away. Not a lot you can do about that. It's pretty funny to watch, though. He juked it like 4 times in 3 or 4 different directions.
Yeah.
Oh. Crystal Maiden still doesn't have boots yet. She's still got to be pretty careful down here. Rubik is her worst enemy, and they've actually rotated the Undying in and the Juggernaut to the off lane. I'm not sure that's any better. Tide's Anchor Smash is going to make Juggernaut's day pretty bad. Oh, Ice Path comes out. Undying's going to be going down. He does. They might look to turn it around onto the Jakiro, who's pretty low. Crystal Maiden is herself. Weaver dropping down to the fire, and the zombie stacks. He might go down. No, he's going to be able to scooch you away. Ice Path comes out, but it doesn't connect. Crystal Maiden gets a Frostbite off on Rubik, and a couple right clicks. Not enough. Oh, it is! The Creeps managed to finish off Rubik, and Crystal Maiden goes toe-to-toe with the Dragon, and she brings him down, but she's going to pay for her crimes, and oh, maybe not the Tango! She had a Tango going, and it saved her. Oh my, she dropped down to about 8 HP there.
What a play.
That value Tango, though. Okay, so Weaver and Juggernaut, pretty good matchup. No obvious winner there, but so far Space with this aggressive tri-lane, they're going to be pretty happy. And I mean, you look at the quick kill stats, they're all on Weaver. He's been a part of all but 1 kill. So, pretty solid there. I guess the Rubik kill was split amongst assists due to the creep. I believe it was a ranged creep getting the last hit. Mid lane, Brewmaster's going in on the Shadow Fiend, but this was a terrible choice. That said, all the raises are used, and he's going to be able to back away. The missed chance is too strong for Shadow Fiend. He's not going to be able to connect on anything, and have to back off.
He's just trying to get some last hit, because right now he's getting out-farmed by a lot by a Shadow Fiend. He's having a hard time also to control runes, and it's just a bad time.
Yeah. Oh, bottom lane. Looks like they popped the tombstone. Good call. Jakiro finally shows up with a sentry. That said, they pinged it out, so I'm assuming Weaver knows it's there. Brewmaster, he still hasn't gotten anything. He's only got 10 CS to the Shadow Fiend's 34. Poor guy. He's having a very rough time here. It's always tough to see when you're put in a matchup like that. But Juggernaut, he's still not really farming all that well. He's only gotten 4 more CS since I last mentioned it, and the Anchor Smash is making everything worse. It's now max level Anchor Smash, so doing a lot of damage to him, as well as reducing his damage to nigh 0.
Mid into Shadow Fiend right now.
They're gonna look to go on him. The clap comes out. They get him with the frostbite.
He's going down. He's going down.
Oh, the turn. He's gonna be able to get another one. They bring down 2 in the mid lane. The Requiem of Souls, too strong. They managed to keep him alive. Rubik also with a good rotation in, and the Jakiro to keep their mid lane alive. And he wanders away with less than 50 health. Picks up a Midas, full bottle, and he's just going to go into the jungle. 7-minute Midas and Shadow Fiend. So a bit of a missed rotation coming up from Space, just not quite able to finish it off. Used all their spells and still kicking. A little bit unfortunate there.
Really, CM was supposed to be there, but she didn't show up. She just wasn't there. So I'm guessing that's what they were expecting, 3v1, but CM just ran away.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication coming out from Space, so not quite on the same page. They end up paying for it, but see if they can maybe pick it up. Weaver's still doing all right. As far as the farmers go, he's 3rd overall, but definitely far ahead of the Juggernaut. Meanwhile, top lane, Tidehunter gets a solo kill, blows Ravage for it. I'm assuming Anchor Smash had something to do with that.
Bottom Undying is dying right now, getting died. Alright, there we go. Weaver got the kill on him.
Yeah, I managed to get the camera there in time to see the end of it, and oh, there's going to be a lift onto Ogre, tossed back into the trees. Ice Path is there, but it looks like it's just the 2 of them, and I'm not sure if this is going to work out. Yeah, Jakiro's trying to get away, but he's going to go down. Weaver doing a lot of damage now. Juggernaut comes through with the Omni Slash, so manages to get one. Rubik trying to finish off the Weaver, or the Ogre Magi, sorry. Juggernaut's trying to get there, unfortunately can't yet. He's got a lot of stick charges if he needs to use them. He's going to pop them. He can Blade Fury this. Undying is there as well. And he's going to pop it. Shadow Fiend's there. Gets the raise through the trees. Nice shot from the Shadow Fiend, picks up a kill. But 2 for 1 in the end. They only lose the Rubik. I guess no, they lost the Jakiro as well. He just respawned so quick. But Tidehunter on the other lane, after getting a kill and assist, has a 8-minute 45-second blink dagger. Very impressive time for him.
Indeed, this Shadow Fiend is gonna get out of hand pretty quickly if they don't do anything about it soon.
Looks like he's going for the BKB first, which is pretty common. You used to see some Helm of the Dominator first on Shadow Fiend, but that was a long time ago, and I think he's just too squishy. Needs that BKB, needs the magic immunity, especially up against the Ogre Magi, Crystal Maiden, the Brew Clap, and the Ravage, all that. So very well deserved. The only danger is the BKB curse. You pick it up, and then by the time you get to late game, it's only on 5 seconds. So hopefully he makes it worth it early. I think they want to go into the Tide top. They don't have Omni Slash. Could be a bit of trouble.
He got Ravage up in 30 seconds, so it shouldn't be that bad. CM went and back him up, so.
Yeah, Ogre's hiding here as well, but they do have a ward down. They will know the Ogre's in the area. They won't know about the Crystal Maiden. We'll see if how aggressive they're feeling. Meanwhile, Brewmaster's, he's going for the rune bottom. Might get something and look to go on the Undying.
Dyer's mid tower could use a
But
You
little
as
can
of
really see the Dire vision. You can really see the Dire vision just around mid. They really want the Shadow Fiend should be shut down, but they're not smoking. They should just rotate and try to kill him.
yeah, and unfortunately they haven't. What would almost be better is if they took these 4 heroes that were sitting top, would dump them onto the Shadow Fiend mid and let the Brewmaster try and get some catch-up farm in the safe lane. But we might see a Blink Ravage come out. Not yet. There it is! It connects onto 3. They're going to look to bring down the Rubik first, after the Jakiro. They get both at the same time. Juggernaut throws out the Omni Slash and the Blade Fury afterwards. Need a couple more right clicks and the the Geminate attack should be there. They did lose their Ogre on the backside of that. Undying did rotate in, but he's going to make it a 4-man wipe for space. They come out very far ahead. Weaver pops a wand. He's not going to be in any danger from the zombies. And in the end, they're going to be really happy with that. Excellent unveil of the Blink Dagger on Tide. Gets a 3-man Ravage very early off into the game, so going to be pretty happy with that. And
Meanwhile, you had mid, you had Brewmaster. He let go the T1. Just Shadow Fiend just pushed it. He knew they weren't getting really any reinforcements, so at least they got this off.
yeah, able to trade a little bit, so they trade some kills for the tower. The mid tower is incredibly important as far as map control and just being able to rotate around safely and spot where the enemy is. So they give that up, but they get some kills, so it's, I would say, definitely in favor of space, but at least somewhat of a trade for Eternal Gaming. Brewmaster, he's 200 away from his Blink Dagger. Once he gets that, it's going to be good. Tide blinks onto the Rubik, gets lifted up. Rubik still only level 5, unfortunately. He's going to be going down here. Actually, Tide doesn't want to dive the tower, which is fair. Doesn't know who's there. That said, Crystal Maiden shows up, and now it's all good. They're going to go. Unfortunately, there was nothing else for the Undying to grab. Crystal Maiden dropping very low. She's going to go down to the tower, and Tide's trying to waddle away. Undying's in the area as well. Shadow Fiend's rotating in through. They should be able to pick up this kill. Oh, he's got his blink up. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the decay off in time. Now the Brewmaster's here. He's got his split. Throws out a clap, bottling up. Is he going to split? He hasn't split yet. He cancels it. Shadow Fiend's wandered away, and they give up 2 for the Crystal Maiden. So another nice trade coming up from space. Crystal Maiden, unfortunately, not worth that much. She's already got her Tranquil Boots and a Bracer. She's basically 6-slotted. And that's a very quick Desolator for Weaver. Manages to pick that up at 12 minutes, 30 seconds when he grabs that. So impressive timings on that one. See how this goes. Maybe rotate through into the Ogre. We'll see how hard they want to go. Brewmaster's in the area. He's got his Blink Dagger now. Maybe look to see a Blink Clap split. Yeah. Either way. Oh. Yeah. Nope. They back off. Not willing to. That said, they're going to go into Jakiro. Blink. Blink Clap crit. Easy kills for the Brewmaster. And he's going to back off. Juggernaut. Oh, man.
The Tide's coming from behind on the mid. This
Yeah.
is looking like a big team fight.
Yeah, he's going to look to go here. If he goes now, he can get 3. I'm not sure if his team's there. He goes in. Ravage gets 1. He gets the Gush and the Smash off as well. Rubik gets a lift off. Are they going to be able to turn it around? They do. They bring down him with the Omni Slash, and Shadow Fiend unloads his ultimate. Big ultimate from the Shadow Fiend. He gets 2, or brings 4 down very low, and it's a triple kill for the Juggernaut. They're going to make it a 5-man wipe. No, Weaver with a time lapse to be able to get it off. Throws it backwards, and there's no Omni Slash to go. Weaver's coming back in, though. You don't want to get hit by too many of these raises. Oh, it just misses, unfortunately. Now he's going to look to finish off. This might be a dead Shadow Fiend. We'll see if the Death Requiem... No, not able to finish him off. And, oh, the Ice Path is there! The Blade Fairy. Weaver goes down! And Juggernaut's now dominating. Carry, who was very much shut down. Able to get a lot of comeback golden experience there. And a big play coming out for Eternal Gaming. Nice turnaround and beautiful Requiem. Interesting. So, Shadow Fiend, unsurprisingly. The stats back up what we were talking about, Shadow Fiend making Baru's life hard. I'm sure if we take a quick look at the net worth and experience graph, we're going to see them shooting back up to neutral. Oh, scratch that. They're going to look to go on the Tidehunter. I got to get rid of the graph. There it is. Tidehunter 4 steps away. Juggernaut still chasing through. They're not going to be able to finish him off. Rubik's got Anchor Smash now, though, so... It's actually not a bad spell to steal. Obviously, you'd prefer Ravage, but I think Anchor Smash is a decent one to grab. Bottom lane, the Brewmaster split comes out. He's looking for the Undying. Shadow Fiend's there. We'll look to see if he wants to go. Brewmaster couldn't blink out in time, and he's going to get caught with the Ice Path, brought down quickly. Couple raises, and the Shadow Friend picks up another kill. So, he's sitting 5-1 and 5 on this SF. Very impressive play for him. Juggernaut's thinking about top. Yeah, he's kind of their hope right now. That said, Crystal Maiden... Oh, the Rubik throws the Crystal Maiden away, and she's going to kite out the spin, but... Oh, is she going to go down? No, she's not. Nice play from her, able to keep herself alive, and the Juggernaut ends up diving a little bit too hard. Mask of Madness proving that it's not the greatest for staying alive under tower fire.
Meanwhile, they had bottom tower T1 down, and there's continuing push, and right now there's no answers from Space Gaming. They have to do something. And T2 is going on really fast with Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and we're in.
Is up.
And we're in one of these interesting scenarios in which the one team is ahead as far. Oh, scratch that. We're gonna see the Rubik going down. One more club. There it is. Tide picks up another kill. And that's what I was saying before. We're seeing where one of these teams is very far ahead as far as kills goes, but nowhere near as far as map control. As you can see, the tier 1 bottom and mid are both gone, and the tier 2 took a lot of damage there, about half its health. So it's well spaced. They're technically ahead. I feel like they're almost behind, but we'll have to see.
For vision, for sure.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where they've got the tools to take fights. Tide's got his 4-staff, and he's looking for that refresher orb. There's 4 people grouped up top. Unfortunately, they're just clumped up here. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. They're just going to let that top tower fall. Kind of confused as to why they didn't rotate top, but nonetheless. Weaver, he's pushing bottom now. That Desolator making things easy. And that was the final tier 1 for Space, so they got to try and get some trades along the way. Even Ogre's not doing too bad on Space, though. He's got his Tranks, a Soul Ring. Probably going to start looking for an Eggs fairly soon. Brewmaster and Weaver, they're going to finish off this bottom tower. Three smoked up. Tide, Ogre, and Crystal Maiden. They might find the Rubik again. Poor guy. He's been picked off quite a few times. 8 deaths on him. And if you're going to have 8 deaths on someone on your team, it better be the Rubik. Oh, he drops the sentry. And Crystal Maiden not quite there with the Crystal Nova. That said, Rubik's probably panicking. Realizes that came out of nowhere. And they're going to move into Roshan, which I think is not terrible. Be able to break his Lincolns there. They've got the Gush for a little bit of extra minus armor on top of the Desolator, so it should go down quick. I just worry about their sustain and if the Radiant rotate through. They will have Tide off in the area, though.
Brewmaster needs to be closer with his team. Now he's pretty far. He's separated from his team. And if Jakiro lands a stun, they're pretty much doomed.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend can go in with BKB on and pop off another solid Requiem like we saw before. BKB was used once before, it's down to a 9-second cooldown, and he's got a Talisman of Evasion, so looking for that Butterfly early on. Could be a Halberd, but I imagine it's a Butterfly as he hasn't bought the change yet. You don't see Halberd too often on SF, not the best item. That said, the Disarm for Weaver wouldn't be terrible. But on a different hero, maybe. The Undying or something like that would be better off with the Halberd. So, we'll have to kind of wait and see here. Lots of maneuvering around this Roche pit. It looks like Space wants to take it, and they know that they can. They're just worried about getting counted up, and they're circling out the Brewmaster. That's actually the Radiant doing that. Realize that it's not there, and Shadowfiend's going to scout it with an Illusion Rune.
They smoked up.
Yeah.
Probably tried to go on Weaver. Nope.
I imagine they will. Rubik's going to be the first one down. He's going to look for the... Oh, gets a lift onto the Ogre. It's going to pull him back. Shadowfiend's there as well as the Undying. Ravage comes through. Connects onto 3, 4 actually off on the backside. Shadowfiend unloads a big Requiem. They managed to bring down the Weaver as well as the Tide and Ogre. Crystal Maiden's going to be going down next. And Brewmaster on the backside. He is somehow stuck on the cliff, unfortunately. Oh, Ice Bath's going to catch him. They're going to throw out some raises, and that's going to be another team wipe coming out in favor of Eternal Gaming. Meanwhile, Rubik bites the bullet again.
What happened to the Brewmaster? How did he get up the hill?
I think
Someone get what happened to Teamfight for Space Gaming.
something... Because of where he was and that none of the trees were broken, I'm guessing that he missed a blink coming out from like the small camp that way and just wasn't quite able to get there. He was here and there's no trees down. If you look at, so he wasn't 4-staffed up there, unless it was like a perfect 4-staff, but no one has one. Oh, and Rubik was, I think, already dead.
Well, Rubik initiated on Oregon. He died
Yeah.
right away, so it's not him.
But you know what, though? That Rubik has been tanking all the ganks. He is a value support player there. Shadowfiend now with a Butterfly, so he hits very hard, and he's going to be really tough to bring down, especially with his Aegis. And he's been getting off some fantastic Requiems in these fights. He's going to find the Brewmaster and the Weaver. Maybe he doesn't want to go for them by himself, but Brewmaster's going to go through. The clap, the crit, and a split. Shadowfiend's going to pop his BKB, and they're going to look to turn this around. Weaver's dropping very low, but he gets to the Shadowfiend first. The Aegis is going to be used. Undying comes back down from the Tornado, and they're going to look to finish off the Tombstone. Weaver gets blown up, though. Way too much damage coming out. Shadowfiend gets lifted. Ogre Magi now in a little bit of trouble. Brewmaster blinks, and the Crystal Maiden gets clapped down. Now they're looking for the Tidehunter. He's able to 4-staff away. They don't have any stuns for him right now. He's going to be able to get a blink off. Oh, the Liquid Fire's canceling it. Juggernaut's there with a crit. They need some other form of control, but he's going to be able to blink up. Blinks up to the high ground. A little bit risky, but I think he's going to be all right. And Ogre's waiting there for him, and they're going to let him go. I'm going to take this tier 2 mid. So they initiate on the Shadowfiend, who just pops his BKB and has a good time.
No, it should be mentioned that he lost Aegis during that fight, so it wasn't that bad of a trade for Space Gaming.
Yeah.
Considering how big Shadowfiend is.
Yeah, they brought him down once, so it'll be all right for him. Or it'll be all right for them, sorry. But nonetheless, Havoc's still very, very big, as you said. What would you go for next on the Shadowfiend?
I think he got a lot. I don't know. I would have to think about it.
It's kind of at the point where it
I mean,
doesn't
no
really
pretty
matter.
much need- I mean, his team is not real tanky, so he could go actually for a sport item. Maybe Nostalgia X would be nice for the whole team.
Okay.
Because he's like the only one getting farm right now, and I think he's the only one who can actually get some items for his team.
For sure. And it's interesting that the Shadowfiend, you'd call the Assault Cuirass a sport item, but I guess it makes sense, the R item. Sometimes you see SFs go for the mech, but I think it's pretty late for that. He actually sells his bottle, and he's gonna go Dominator. Screw his team. He wants some lifesteal. So, Satanic Rush, or do you leave it at the Dominator? Now the question.
No, he's gonna be in Satanic soon. He wants that.
Oh,
HP.
Jakiro in the jungle. He's gonna get initiated on. Rubik's gonna lift the Brewmaster though. Brewmaster tries to split, but unfortunately gets cancelled by the Omni Slash. That mini stun from Omni Slash. It's not too often you see it do anything, but there it is. Cancels the animation, and they managed to bring him down.
I think Brewmaster was just stunned at how he got canceled right away, and that's why he didn't recast it right after.
Dire's top tower's gone.
He didn't expect that.
No, he was not ready for that at all. Ogre Magi now a little bit out of position. Rubik not there, though. Can't get him with the lift, but they're going to go high ground now. Shadow Fiend's got his BKB. It's at 7 seconds. And the Juggernaut clones and Juggernaut are going to do some work. Meanwhile, Tidehunter and Weaver are split pushing.
Against mid tower could use a hand.
They're going to lose their top tower, but...
Trade 2T2.
Oh, yeah, for this Rax, there's not a lot they can do about it. And interesting that they, with Ravage up, they didn't rotate back sooner. He can still go in if he wants to. Throws out a Gush, lift, and goes for the Ravage. Oh, he blinks into the Ice Path. Can't get it off. The Requiem comes up, blows up the Brew. He can't get split off. Ravage is still off cooldown. Wasn't able to get it off, and unfortunately, that might be the second lane of Rax and possibly the game. Not too sure if Space can look to deal with this or not.
Still split pushing bottom, so we got
Yeah.
nothing coming off of them.
He's trying to clear up these creeps as fast as he can, but unfortunately it's just not quick enough. The mid-Rax is going to go down again, and again, sorry, as well. And they're going to back off, maybe go TP back and defend, or they just look for tier 4s. Kind of have to wait and see. They're not leaving yet. Shadow Fiend's still standing strong,
Radiant's bottom tower.
and Weaver's slowly chipping away that tower.
I think they wanted to go for Megas, but they
Did-
don't have yet the T2 right here. So.
Yeah. Unable to finish that off. That said, they're going to go in the Undying. Crystal Maiden's ulti gets canceled shortly after getting started, and Juggernaut's going to be able to slash her down. Now he's looking for the Ogre Magi. He's going to keep chasing, and Brewmaster's there. He's still got a split. Does he want to use it? Tide's got Ravage and a Refresher Orb. He still hasn't gone in yet. Blink's on cooldown from these illusions, and Undying's going to go down to the Weaver and the Tide. Rubik also has fallen. Jakiro goes down off on the backside. Brewmaster blinks forward, gets a clap on the Juggernaut. Looking forward. Tide blinks forward. Sorry. The 4-step forward, Gush, blink, and he's going to bring down another one. So they get 4, but Shadow Fiend, he's just TP'd out and slowly, calmly pushing out the back lane. And Tide with a...
They should just go for it.
Go for mid.
Refresh, I was going to say that.
Like, I'm so surprised Tide didn't go in on either of those fights. He, like... When you've got a Ravage and a Refresher, you gotta go. You gotta get that shit off, but... Decides not to, and it was really unfortunate up at the top Rax that he blinked right as the Ice Path formed, so... A little bit of bad luck, a little bit of mistiming maybe. Either way, it worked out well for Eternal Gaming. They get 2 lanes of Rax, and are now firmly in the lead, according to all the metrics.
What do you think is the next plan for Space Gaming at this point? Should they go for wait for Roche or just straight mid and try to end it?
Even if they win a fight mid, we look at buyback. Shadow Fiend's got it, so does the Jakiro. So I don't think they'd be able to take the mid lane of Rax at all, especially having to go through a tier 2 as well. So plus Glyph, I don't think they'd be able to do it. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's great. Shadow Fiend has purchased a Abyssal Blade, a full Abyssal Blade. That's interesting. That is not an item you see on Shadow Fiend. Maybe, I guess he's just getting it for Mortal Lockdown for the... It's a lot of damage and some bash chance, but...
He should have waited at least to get some money for buyback. Now, if
Yeah.
he dies, it's going to cost his team a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Rubik playing very aggressively. He goes forward, gets a lift onto the Tidehunter, but he might pay for it. Omni Slash comes out. That's going to bring down the Crystal Maiden. Juggernaut's on the backside looking for the Tide. Can't get him. Ogre Magi is running away. Ice Path does not catch him. Rubik's there. Unfortunately, no lift. But he's dropping very low. Fade Bolt is there, though. Going to be able to get him. The bugs come through, but not going to do a whole lot. So they lose their 2 supports. But the core is still alive. And are there any buybacks on? No, there are no buybacks on the Dire. All of them a long ways off. This is going to be the maybe the final countdown coming out here. Unless calling till Roche. We'll know here in just a moment how long the Roche timer is going to be. At a moment. But bottom lane, they're just going to go ahead and push away.
Fun.
3 minutes until Roche now. The long spawn. And that tower drops quickly. My. Oh, this is the time, though, for Tide. Double Ravage base defense is strong. He's just... Oh, his Refresh Orb's on cooldown, though. That's... Didn't see when that was popped. Very interesting, nonetheless. He's got one Ravage, though. He can look to go in now. If he does, he's going to get 3, and he catches 4 with it. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of follow-up on dying. He's going to drop, maybe not. The Mechanism comes out, as well as the Soul Rip. Unfortunately, he's not going down, and that's going to be a GG. The Weaver blown up instantly, as well as Crystal Maiden. Brewmaster manages to get a split off, but in the end, it's not going to matter. Huh. Oh, Eternal Gaming come out ahead with game 1. And we're going to be back shortly with game number 2. I am Wolf Dota. Joining me was Dora. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and enjoy the tunes for a moment while I set up the next game.